Hey everybody, Joe here from Millennial Homesteading. I want to talk today about spray nozzles for tow behind ag sprayers. For those of you who don't know what I'm talking about, um, these are the nozzles that you typically see on newer style tow behind sprayers. You tow them behind four wheelers, side by sides, lawn tractors, garden tractors. Sorry, my dog's in the background drinking. And they're typically used for putting down herbicides, pesticides, fertilizer, sometimes just, watering crops if you got a big crop. And we're going to go over a little bit of details in them today because there is a lot of options out there, but you got to know what you need. And it can get very confusing very fast. There's a lot of different style nozzles like these. These are flood style nozzles. They have different fan angles, and they also have different size orifices in there. And that all equates to what pressure you're running, how much you're looking to put down, stuff like that. So before you go out and buy these, you really need to kind of calculate the area, how much your sprayer holds, how much pressure you're running. And the numbers don't have to be 100% accurate unless you're doing, pinpoint precision. You need to put exactly this much herbicide down in this area, and then you need to get it close. But today we're just going to talk a little bit about what your options are, how to set them up, and the different styles. So what you see here in front of you is these are all Femco sprayer bodies, quick attach couplers. So within a quarter of a turn, I can turn this, and this nozzle comes off. Sorry, this jacket comes off. The nozzle comes out, and inside there is a washer that's a seal and one of these little screens. One of these screens will keep your nozzle from getting clogged up. Some of these have little check balls in them. This one does not. This is just a basic little metal screen with plastic. But there's a washer that goes between here and the spray nozzle. These are 1/2-inch square style. These are your holders. These clamp around this part here, and it holds it. These would go on a tube. These are specifically a 1/2-inch tube. As you can see here with this one, how it's clamping it. And you would run this on a piece of pipe on the back of your sprayer, run it through here, and then you'd run whatever your spraying hose is up here. I know my fingernails are disgusting. Forgive me, I'm a diesel mechanic. And then you have your sprayer, which I can still turn this. This is your nozzle. This is your actual where your water comes out of. These are 80-degree nozzles. I don't remember what the orifice size is off the top of my head. But you can turn these and twist them without having to unlock it. Just be gentle with them because they are kind of tight at first, which is good so they don't leak. But the nice thing about having quick connect couplers is I can disconnect this collar here, and I can put any different flood size nozzle in there for different fans, different spray patterns, different flow rates that I want. And they go right up in there. You can have this on the tractor spraying down. You can angle it so it sprays out a little ways. With the flood nozzles, water comes out here, so it comes out like a blade. And when these are in there, when these are in the body, such as such, you can have it pointed down, so you have that, or you can have them upright as such, so they spray outwards, kind of like a broadcast spreader kind of works. How they spray out in a pattern such as like that. You can also turn them 90 degrees, so if you've got 2 rows, you can have one sprayer spraying this side and one sprayer spraying that side, which is really nice. Flood nozzles are very nice, but they can be a little overshotty. If you're trying to do a specific area, they can tend to spray out a little far. Then you have kind of your direct spray nozzles. They also have nozzles that don't have a fan. It's kind of like a shoots straight down in the center. So if you're doing like edging, it shoots straight down in the center and then it comes out of the side. So kind of like that, how it'll spray straight down and out. That way you don't get any on your side. Because if you're spraying your yard with weed killer, you don't want to get that on your plants. But most of the ag sprayers aren't used for home use. They're used for crops or large plots of land, for growth of grass, crops, pesticides to keep bugs down. But they're typically not used around your average small home. Normally it's larger yards that require 15, 20 gallons, 30 gallons of stuff in a couple acres. So it depends. And depending on what your concentration is, which is specified by the manufacturer of how much to put down of that product in an acre for it to work effectively, it depends on, once again, your pressure, your flow rate, and how far it spreads out. So you really have to take all this into consideration. All of them are marked. Everything you see in front of you here, except for these collars, I was able to find at Tractor Supply. And some of these nozzles aren't Fimco. Some of these are County Line, which are just as good. These are actually T-Jet, and T-Jet makes all this stuff here. It's kind of like Chevy, GMC, and Cadillac. It's all made by the same people. And it's just branded differently. But you have to make sure that if you do swap products, that's why I got all Fimco stuff, because I knew it would fit. And I know, because I could take it out in the store and test it, and make sure I put it back in the right package, that these nozzles, which are County Line, will fit in a Fimco body. And as long as they fit, it should work. The other thing is to make sure that the seals are in there. And like I said, it takes time, and you have to do a lot of research. You have to take a lot of numbers. The big thing to remember is you have to know your pressure. You have to know your jet size, which is the orifice inside here. That little hole there. There you go. You can see it. You have to know what size that is. You have to know what pressure you're at. And then it comes down to, all right, if I'm running 40 pounds, which is about the middle, anywhere from 20 to 60 is your average PSI. I know if I have this nozzle at 40 PSI, it puts down 3.5 gallons a minute, which is actually a lot, because this one is 1.3 gallons per minute. This one here is 1.7 gallons a minute. And this one here, this little red sucker, is 1.5. And I use these for all different things, mainly herbicides for lawn care and stuff like that. I don't do lawn care. I do it for friends and family because they're not able to, or they don't understand it. So I just do it to help them. And this is just a little kit I got of extra nozzles, seals, and stuff like that. But there's T-Jet, Fimco, County Line. It's all the same. I know I'm missing some, but those are the ones that I've seen the most. And they all work together. They also have, on the back of your sprayer, normally you'll have either a tube or you'll have a square stock. And this is obviously for a 1/2-inch round pipe. But they also have ones for square stock, which will be, I believe, 1/2 inch as well, for if you have like a square pipe at the back. The reason I went with round is I have to modify my sprayer a little bit, but with the round ones, I can take this and I can rotate it, loosen that screw, and I can rotate it on that pipe. That way I can get the angle I want, instead of just having either like this or like this with square. So with square, you can either have it straight up and down or side to side, but with round, you can angle it, as far as you want. So that's why I'm going with that. But there's a lot of things to consider when you go with sprayer bodies and nozzle tips and stuff like that. It does require a little bit of homework, but normally if you talk to your local ag dealers, especially if you're in a rural area around farms and stuff like that, those guys know a ton of that stuff. And you should really take the time and listen to what they have to say, because they can save you a lot of headache and money of running back and forth to the store to get the right stuff. and it will save your lawn. It'll save your wallet. It'll save your mind from going crazy figuring out why your lawn's dying because you're putting down too much because you got too big of nozzles. So that's just my take on it. If you guys have any questions or anything like that, please feel free to drop them in the comments. Have a good day.